Okay, perfect. How are you, Ken? Nice to
How are
meet
you?
you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, give me just a second. I have like my colleagues in my name as well.
Yep.
Like, whoop, whoop, whoop. So, how is your day on Prime Day in Trustio?
Good. Yeah, record setting. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, just awesome. I was just pulling up some internal numbers. You know, well over 100,000 units combined both days.
That's really good. That's really good. So, like, I talked with a lot of your colleagues in the previous days, like,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for being super responsive for everything. Like, the idea of this live stream, 48 live stream from Sellers Alley office. Like, by the way, I just wanted to share all of the comments that we got from people about the office and like everything. First, like one of the question was like, why are you recording trusty offices?
Oh,
Um, yeah, because like everybody in the team is wearing trusty t-shirts.
yeah. I need
Uh,
to get one of those. I don't even have one of those.
to be honest, we didn't have time to like get the t-shirts from you guys, so we asked for like all the measures and everything, so we made them on our own from our
Oh,
end.
nice.
Yeah, because like all of the stream, the idea of the stream was made like last Wednesday, so we had just like 4 days to prepare everything.
All together. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see that you guys were like super responsive and ready to help us to get everything in place. And one of the things that I talked to Sandra, your colleague, about, and John, is like to tell us more about, like, everybody knows about Trustio. Like, you're the big guys here, but like what people are curious about is like to know like how you get to this position, and like what are you guys doing, and maybe you can tell us more about Trustio for our viewers.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, we until this point we had like around 7 or 8 thousand viewers so far.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Thrasio, I think it got started in really the Genesis first acquisition was in a little over 2 years ago. So the kind of summer of 2018. Co-founders Carlos Cashman here in Boston, Josh Silverstein in New York, John as well, and Stephanie, our COO. And the original thesis was actually to acquire D2C brands, so Shopify storefronts, and leverage advertising and know-how and really grow brands that way. Partly because Carlos, one of our CEOs, his previous endeavor was a Facebook ad agency. So he had a team. He knew how to do ads, etc. And what happened was he had clients that were starting to come to them asking about, hey, I know you can run my Facebook ads. Do you know how to run Amazon ads? And so he increasingly saw this crossover happening between D2C brands and Amazon's marketplaces. And so they basically pivoted off of D2C as they got more and more exposure to the Amazon ecosystem and saw the opportunity. And it was really in its infancy in terms of the ability to acquire Amazon private label brands. So, what kind of started as a D2C brand, roll up story morphed into an Amazon FBA roll up story. And they kind of raised some money from themselves and some equity investors, a couple $1 million, and then made the first two acquisitions, and then went out raised around 15 million or so of debt from a group in New York City, and started to build out the team. So I joined in November of 18, and the company, I think at that point, maybe like done 3 or 4 deals. My background, I spent probably 13 years on Wall Street as an equities stock analyst and portfolio manager, investing in small cap technology companies at large mutual fund firms in the Boston area. And I actually just got burned out on Wall Street and joined with an entrepreneur in Boston that ran actually an Amazon software company, and he had also an Amazon storefront that was taking more time away to run the software company, and he needed someone to come in and run the Amazon business. And we had a mutual friend, so I basically joined, his company and ran his Amazon business for 2 years. It was a reseller model, so we had relationships with 450 name brands here in the United States, and a team of buyers and a pool of capital that we were allocating. So it really opened my eyes up into the Amazon ecosystem and the sellers, and just how global and awesome the community is. And then I just randomly got connected with Carlos, and he told me what they were doing, and I just knew the power of Amazon, having been in it for the prior 2 years. And he said, why don't you come on and help us, and run the acquisitions for us. So I jumped at the opportunity, and it's been a fun run. So I mean, I when I joined, that's probably like the 10th, maybe 8th or 10th person in the company, and we now have well over 450 people globally. We've acquired over 75 companies over that time period. And while it feels like I've been here for years, and then we're in the 7th inning, I still think we're still early days of where the company's headed. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like that you guys are growing super fast. Like it doesn't sound like you are growing insanely fast, and like I'm pretty sure like to hire 450 people, that's like a really good HR team behind everything. Like
Yeah. I mean, our team's been incredible. So I think what's unique, typically, in a startup, you have not younger entrepreneurs that you haven't built and scaled businesses that had a great idea, and then they build a team around them, and it takes time, and oftentimes it's their investors or their board members that suggest people to add to the team over time, and the management team takes a while to scale up. What's unique with Thrasio is that from day one we were building the leadership team, and then have over the last really 18 months built the operations team and the rest of the organization out. And so that's really exciting, and we've brought a lot of great people into the company, people that have scaled businesses before, that know how to set up organizations, that particularly distributed workforce, which we basically got forced into adapting with COVID, with everybody else. And it's been amazing. I think we've onboarded almost 100 people since COVID hit in March, all remotely, around the globe. So it's been fun to see that progress, and couldn't be more proud of the company.
yeah, I know a lot of you guys from your company, and I see that like it's like exponential growth in every direction. Like my first touch with you guys was in, I think, September last year, and
Yeah.
I met Brandon in Amsterdam, and we were at the PPC conference, and he
Yeah.
came there. Like everybody was super fancy with a lot of banners and like visuals and everything at the conference. And Brandon came with huge piece of paper, and he took like a marker and he wrote, "We buy Amazon businesses." And he was standing in front of it. And just because it's like that basic, I was like, I was so intrigued. And they're like, "Hi, my name is Lazar. Like, what kind of stuff are you doing? Like, apart from buying businesses, you know?" And like we spent like whole evening together, and like we went to a bar and like had some beers and everything, and and I met like whole team that went to Amsterdam as
Yeah.
well.
John. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and like we stayed in touch for a long time after that. So
Yeah.
can you tell us more about that part about acquiring businesses? I'm pretty sure that some of the listeners are maybe fed of their business, or like what do you think like is the main reason why somebody wants to sell their business to you? Are they like fed of it, or is
Yeah,
like
I think there's a myriad of reasons why people want to sell, right? I mean, it could be, they've gotten to a leadership position, and to your point, they're just tired of playing defense, right? Of getting attacked, and having to deal with Amazon, either rolling suspensions, review script, whatever it may be, and they're just tired, and they've lost that passion, right? Maybe they they started the business because they were just product people and they wanted to launch an awesome product and they loved the R&D product design aspect of it, but they don't necessarily love the running of the business, forecasting cash flow, ordering inventory, right? Levering up your personal balance sheet and that kind of sleep at night, right? I call it the sleep, like the Sunday scaries where you're worried you're going to wake up and your account's going to be shut down, or going to be, your listing is going to be attacked, or you're going to run out of inventory. And a lot of people, do take massive risk on when they start these businesses, and it is a capital intensive business. So the more you grow, the more capital you need, and to keep recycling in the business. So, on paper, let's just say you're running a business and is doing, $1 million a year in revenue. You're probably on paper earning $250,000 of profit. If you're doing $1 million in revenue, you're probably selling through anywhere from 200 to 250,000 annually of inventory, working capital. And so, if you're going to grow 100% that next year from 1 to 2 million in revenue, you need to find another $200 million or $200,000 of capital to invest back in the business. And so that's typically coming right out of the profits back into the business, right? So I hear a lot of sellers say to me, well, I can just run the business for 2 more years or 3 more years and earn that money back. And in reality, they don't, right? They're not paying themselves all the profits out of the business. They're recycling the profits into the business. And so oftentimes it's a way of, finally realizing the economic value of what you built, and to give yourself that payday. Right. So that's part of it. Another reason people will sell is that they've already started a new brand. They've already started a new business, right? They've built one up. They've kind of taken it to where they think that as far as they can take it from either a skill set or a team perspective. And then now they're excited about this other new shiny brand and product set that they're developing, and they need the capital, right? So they want to monetize their kind of cash cow and redeploy the capital and grow another brand and run the same playbook. I think selling on Amazon and building Amazon micro brands is a very distinctive skill set, and the beauty of it is it's repeatable. So it's kind of, if you know how to do it and you know how to play the game, the product is outside of supplements in some areas that are a little bit more cutthroat, etc. You can be product agnostic. We for the most part are at Thrasio product agnostic. We're really looking for that kind of quote beachfront real estate on Amazon, the leadership positioning within a respective category. So that's a reason. Another one would just be, they've taken it to where their capabilities hit a glass ceiling, right? So maybe they were where they just don't treat it like a business. They're just product developers or they're marketers, and they just don't want to manage people and build a team out, right? I think there's natural levels of Amazon businesses where you reach a fork in the road to make a decision of, all right, do I double down right now and build out a team and create all my SOPs and hire VAs and whatever it may be, dive in and really own sponsored products and know what the hell I'm doing? Or do I just, it's a lifestyle business and I don't want to do that, treat it like a real business, so to speak. So I'll just sell and walk away. So we see it all. It's oftentimes, right? Sometimes people just catch lightning in a bottle, and they launched a product that was new and it was first in a niche, and they've gone from 0 to 5 million in revenue in 2 years, and they realize that they just caught lightning in a bottle and want to sell and recognize the value.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that's I'm pretty sure sellers are not fully aware at some point is the more you grow, lower your margins are. When you're a smaller brand, you're like, okay, I'm making this amount of money out of the revenue that I'm making, and in 2 years when I grow 10 times, I'm going to make 10 times more profit, and they're not calculating other stuff like adding more team members to the team, investing in software, investing in so many different things that they didn't need to invest in at the beginning of their business. And like,
Yeah.
that's definitely something that I saw personally that a lot of sellers like had problems with. So if somebody wants to sell and like and decides to go with you, like, is it difficult to do it? Like, does it take a lot of time? Like, what
No.
should they do? Like, who's
Yeah.
the
So, I
first to
mean,
reach?
we have a come as you are mentality. So there's no, you don't have to hire an accountant and spend $5,000 cleaning up your books and get an accrual based P&L. We can do all that for you. You don't, it's just an email and a conversation is all we really need to get started. We have an amazing team on the M&A side and diligence that is very efficient. We've done this, 75 plus times, in terms of migrating the account over, et cetera. So we have tremendous SOPs in place to make sure it's a seamless process. Once our team looks at it on the upfront, we make a pretty quick assessment if we think it'd be a great fit for the portfolio, and if it is, we would either build the financial statements out for the seller, or if they already have them, that's great. We would look at it, and within a few days, turn around with an offer, and if it's a win-win for both parties, we send out a term sheet, sign that, and then kick it off the official due diligence period, which typically takes anywhere from like 15 to 21 days. And it's so one of the beauties of acquiring Amazon FBA brands is that there's a canonical source of data in Seller Central. It's all the same for everybody, right? So we can verify very quickly what the real numbers are outside of the cost of goods sold. And that's just, we'll work with the seller. There's kind of a worksheet to fill out. And that's really it. And then it's, a couple calls to walk through, marketing, general operations, supply chain with our team here, the people that'll be running the brand day to day post acquisition. And then, sign the asset purchase agreement or the share purchase agreement and, begin the migration process of the account and the assets over to Thrasio. And then once that's completed, the sellers are paid, and then kind of off to do whatever they want after that. There's really no time commitment contingency. You don't have to stay on for 3 months and run the brand, 6 months. All we ask is that you're there to pick up the phone during the transition period, maybe 30 days post or so, and then kind of go do it again, or rent a house in Bali for a year or whatever it may be. I mean, we've heard some, go buy an awesome car. I mean, we've seen it all. We hear it's great hearing the success stories of sellers post acquisition and what they're doing with the proceeds, and it's fun what we're doing, but it's also really cool to think that we've minted over 75 millionaires globally over the past 2 years.
Nice.
And yeah, being founded by entrepreneurs, that's a really awesome, kind of mission.
That's definitely really great.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you would like more to share with our viewers? Like, is there anything that they should know from your end?
No, I think, look, in terms of the market, I would say it's a seller's market right now. So if you have thought about selling or you're interested in selling, definitely reach out. I think it's going to be interesting to see how sellers are thinking about their business once we start to, comp the COVID bump in Q2 of 2021, right? So all businesses are valued on a trailing 12 months profit basis. So things look really great on year-over-year growth right now, but I think as we move forward, some people will start to show declines year on year, and it'll really tease out that COVID bump. And it's been interesting discussions with sellers during this period, right? I mean, there were people that were seeing sales go up 100% week on week sequentially, and for a period of 2 months, and kind of coming back. And we saw with some of our brands in our portfolio in the the sports and fitness spaces, the gym equipment, home equipment, etc. So look, we've seen it all, we've lived through it all. You can imagine looking at over 1,000 brands to date. we know all the tactics, we know what goes on, and that's why we just say, come as you are. I mean, there's nothing to hide. We want to have honest, upfront conversations. We'll work through issues as they arise together, and really look to align as partners with the sellers, because our reputation is what's tantamount to us, and we plan on being in this market for another 5 to 10 years, doing what we're doing today, and we think we're adding a lot of value to the overall ecosystem.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like as you mentioned, like I didn't even think about that part, like with COVID and like how it mixed all the numbers and everything. So guys, if you're listening and you want to sell, like have in mind that the guys from Trustee are covering everything, and like you don't need to do any accounting or anything like that. So everything is going to be done for you. You're to just like to show the intention that you want to sell the company and reach out to Trustee, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to cover everything for you.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
So basically, the way how to reach out is to go to Trustio.
Yeah, they can go to our site or email me directly, Ken, Ken, at thras.io. That's my email. Yeah, it's LinkedIn, Facebook, website. There's a bunch of avenues to find us. We're out there.
That's definitely a straightforward thing. Like, if somebody wants to sell, this is like literally the easiest way how to do it. Okay, well, I don't have any more questions for you, and I'm pretty sure that people are like fully aware how they can reach out, and like if they had any concerns, like I think you covered more or less everything. Like if you want anything else to add, like feel free to do it.
Yeah. No, I just say, look, there's no, we have a conversation with everybody that reaches out directly. So, it's never too early to even just start a conversation and say, hey, what do you think? Oh, I want to sell next year. Where do you think, what are multiples going to look like? What valuation? We're happy. We're pretty much an open book on our end. So, yeah. We love to talk to sellers. That's the best part of my job.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ken. And thank you for joining us at such short notice.
Absolutely. Happy to. And now I need you to send me one of those shirts. We got to get our team on.
Well, as a matter of fact, we have a lot of them.
All right. Well, we'll coordinate. We'll compensate you for it. We'll bring him back over here.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. Thanks, Lazar. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.